Hello, my Facebook, YouTube, Instagram friends. Good to be here again with you. My name is Daisy Daniel. I am a personal resilience life coach, also founder of mymoment life coaching services. I come to you to share awareness on different topics, topics that I'm especially concerned about with society and just people in general, or anything having to do with abuse and parental alienation. And you can find more of my content on my website if you visit www.mymomentlc.com, and my YouTube channel by the same address. What I am doing here every Monday and Thursday is doing an impromptu read and reflection from the book, The Language of Letting Go. I'm doing this now for, I don't know, maybe about a month, and I've enjoyed it. There's always good topics to learn from in these reflections, and I want to make space for you to be able to reflect on it yourself, talk about it if you wish. I always leave time at the end for you to just leave comments or ask questions, and we could dig further into the topic. Now, last week, on Thursday, I did a reflection entitled Freedom from Compulsive Disorders. If you did not see that one, that's a very good one to go back to. And I do want to touch on one thing about that reflection today that I didn't mention, and I actually oversaw, but I think it's a very good point to bring up. These videos are impromptu. Like I said, I only read the titles, only to share what the titles are about in case anyone is interested in the reflection. But everything I read is impromptu, and so I want it to be an authentic time, an authentic reflection. If you do not have this book and you want to buy one, I'm going to put the link in the description. It is a very good little book. I highly recommend it. And so last week, on page 120, I read Freedom from Compulsive Disorders, and one of the things I failed to mention was in this sentence, which I'm going to repeat. Said here, some of us are trying to stay free of other compulsive disorders, ranging from caretaking to compulsively feeling miserable, guilty, or ashamed. I touched on the part about caretaking because we know that codependents really caretake to an extreme, to the detriment of their own selves. But I failed to mention about the feeling miserable. Do you know that feeling miserable it is also an addiction? And we get so used to feeling miserable about a certain topic, whatever it might be. Some people call it, that they're depressed. They say that they're depressed, but you don't have to necessarily be depressed to be miserable all the time. And just focusing on something that makes you sad all the time, we need to switch that in our minds, and we need to get busy doing something else, redirect our thoughts, redirect our focus, and do other things that make us happy instead of dwelling constantly on the things that make us sad, the things that we have absolutely no control over, and we just ruminate, in our mind. And that could be an addiction. And I wanted to bring that up because I think feeling miserable, there are a lot of people now especially feeling miserable with just the way the world is right now with the coronavirus and the riots and so many things. There's a lot of family problems, people fighting with each other, a lot of disagreements, and you could get in a mode of just feeling miserable continuously. So I just want to encourage you to not do that. It's easy to do, so don't do that. Today's reflection, which is on page 121, is entitled Control. All right, so I could already tell that's going to be good. So let's get started. I'm going to read and underline the sections that stand out to me, and then we'll go back. Oh, it's short. Then we'll go back and touch on some of the stuff. Here we go. Control. Many of us have been trying to keep the whole world in orbit with sheer and forceful application of mental energy. What happens if we let go? If we stop trying to keep the world orbiting and just let it whirl? It'll keep right on whirling. It'll stay right on track with no help from us. And we'll be free and relaxed enough to enjoy our place in it. Control is an illusion, especially the kind of control we've been trying to exert. In fact, controlling gives other people, events, and diseases, such as alcoholism, control over us. Whatever we try to control does have control over us and our life. I have given this control to many things and people in my life. I have never gotten the results I wanted from controlling or trying to control people. What I received for my efforts is an unmanageable life. Whether that unmanageability was inside me or external events. In recovery, we make a trade-off. We trade a life that we have tried to control, and we receive in return something better, a life that is manageable. All right, that's the end of the reflection. Now I'm going to read her little prayer. It's only one sentence. Today I will exchange a controlled life for one that is manageable. All right, so we know that people who are codependents control other people. And there's a verse in the Bible, which I've mentioned in prior reflections, that control is as the sin of witchcraft. It is something that people don't appreciate, people don't want, and we do it in the name of love. You know, we do it with our kids. We love them, so, you know, we're going to try to control them. We don't want them to fail. We want them to have a better life than we did, yada, yada, yada. And guess what? They hate it. They hate it. And we have to learn to control ourselves and not be worrying about everyone around us. And, you know, when you set healthy boundaries, then you'll be controlling yourself. And even if people don't like the boundaries you set, at least you won't be controlling them. So let's go back on this reflection. Again, it's page 129. It says here, many of us have been trying to keep the whole world in orbit with sheer and forceful application of mental energy. That is so true. You know, when we are trying to change people, that takes a lot of mental energy. So guess who gets neglected? You. I get neglected. You get neglected. Because you are trying to keep the world spinning, because you think that unless you do that, things will fall apart. I remember working as a teacher for many years. I used to think, oh wow, you know, we teachers, we are so valuable, you know, they would never get rid of us, you know. Teachers are leaving left and right, and we're just so valuable. But guess what? They will drop you at the drop of a hat and replace you that day with another teacher. We think that we think more, I think, of ourselves. We give ourselves much more power than we really have. And it takes a lot of mental energy to be controlling a lot of people. And, you know, she goes on to say, what happens if we let go? If we stop trying to keep the world orbiting and just let it whirl, the world will continue to spin, you know. And you leave a profession, you think everybody is going to be sad because you're gone. No, they are going to replace you. Unless you work in a very special place, that's the case. You know, you are replaceable. In some marriages, unfortunately, you are replaceable. You know, divorces, you are replaceable. They, you know, they throw you away like a piece of trash. And so you have to think about yourself and not worry so much about trying to control other people, but control your life. Taking care of ourselves is enough work as it is. Of course, if you're a parent, you have to guide your children, and then unfortunately see them make mistakes and fall at times. Not try to intervene, not be the codependent trying to make things different. they are going to have to make choices for themselves and suffer the consequences. She goes on to say, and we'll be free and relaxed enough to enjoy our place on it. Okay, she's talking about when you let go of control, you will then be able to live on this earth and be free and relaxed to enjoy your place on it. When you are controlling people, you're really not happy because you are trying to get an outcome that they are not going to give you. And doesn't matter how much you do it, over and over and over again, for years and years and years, months and months and months, until they are ready to change, they are not going to change. And, you know, we only have so much influence. We only have so much influence, and we can only influence the people that are interested in what we have to say. And many times in these dysfunctional families, when you're trying to persuade, you know, whether it be your spouse or your parents or your siblings or your children, you're trying to persuade them constantly, that's a form of control because they're not interested in what you're trying to do. And you are burning so much energy, brain power, that you could be using to learn a skill, to learn a hobby, to start a new business, to whatever, a slew of things that you could be doing, working on your health, researching things that you need to research to better yourself. And that's not being selfish, because guess what? When they're ready for your help, they'll come to you, and then you'll be more than happy to give them a piece of your mind, right? And offer the help and advice. But until then, you're best leaving them alone and working on yourself. Then she goes on to say, control is an illusion. I love that. It's an illusion. There's a phrase called smoke and mirrors. You know, smoke and mirrors, those are little illusions that magicians and different people put in concerts and in different arenas to make you think something that is not there. Smoke and mirrors. And control is like smoke and mirrors. It is an illusion, especially the kind of control we've been trying to exert. And boy, is it an exertion. It really is. It wears you out. But I think it also becomes like an addiction. And, you know, people that are addicted to something, they don't mind doing it over and over and over and over. It's all they know. And they get, you know, like a high from it. And control, it could be like that. You know, you have to really monitor it and ask yourself, am I trying to control this person? By what I'm saying, by either making them feel guilty, making them feel ashamed. It says, in fact, controlling gives other people, events, and diseases, such as alcoholism, control over us. So we really think we're controlling the issues and we're controlling the people and helping, and really what they're doing is they're controlling us, because then they are renting space in our brain, they are renting space in our minds, in our hearts. They're not getting the help they need. You're not getting the help you need. And nobody wins. Nobody wins in this arena. It's a total waste of time. I am sweating bullets, guys. It is a beautiful day here in paradise, but whoo, wish I was at the beach. All right. Then she goes on to say, what I received from my efforts is an unmanaged life, unmanageable life. Okay, so unmanageable life. Think about that for a minute. When you're trying to control other people, your life becomes unmanageable. Why? Because you're not dedicating time to your own life, to your own issues, to your own things that you need to be taken care of. Instead, you're worrying about controlling other people. And so your life becomes unmanageable. Then we get mad at them because our life is unmanageable. We're neglecting ourselves. We get sick. It's just a chain of events that occurs because of the choices that we've made. And we can't get angry at them for trying to control them when we're the ones destroying our own lives by trying to control other people. Right? So your life becomes unmanageable, whether it's inside or externally. Externally or inside. I mentioned in the last show, the last reflection I did about a show I've been watching called Hoarders. And You're talking about unmanageable life. And each show is different. The people are dealing with trauma, very bad trauma, people that hoard. And, you know, their life is so unmanageable that they have to go on a TV show for psychologists and people to intervene on their behalf to try to get them to get rid of some of their junk that they have. They can't even walk in their house. But that's a form of control too, the hoarding. So their life gets so unmanageable that they can't even walk in their house. One that I saw recently, the lady owned 3 houses and it was packed with stuff. You could hardly even get in. And she just couldn't see it. Save her life that she had a problem. And it didn't matter how many times the psychologist or anyone else talked to her, she couldn't see it because it's an addiction. But her life is totally unmanageable, but yet she lives like that every day. And we do the same thing in different arenas, you know. If we are trying to control people, we're not getting what we want, we are not seeing the fruit we want, we have to just pray about things and let God take care of them? Really? That's part of letting go. This book is called The Language of Letting Go. Part of letting go is letting people be who they are. Let people grow how they're supposed to grow. Let people fall, make mistakes, and you work on yourself. All right, then in recovery, we make a trade-off. We trade a life that we have tried to control, and we receive in return a better life that is manageable. And a manageable life is so much more enjoyable. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a manageable life, something that I could do on a daily basis. It's manageable. It doesn't cause me distress, doesn't cause me sorrow, doesn't cause me anger because I'm trying to change another person or control another person. It's manageable. And then her 1-sentence prayer says, today I will exchange a controlled life for one that is manageable. And when she mentions a controlled life, she's not talking about herself. Of course, we need to control ourselves. She's talking about codependence controlling other people. And we're going to trade that. We're going to trade that off. So if you're struggling with controlling other people, ask God to help you to stop doing that, to stop controlling your children, controlling your spouse, controlling your parents, controlling your children, controlling your friends, and start controlling yourself and the areas in your life that you need control in. All right, I'm going to open it up. If there's anyone that has a comment or a question or anything, we could keep talking about this. If you want to, shoot me a little comment, shoot me a little question, and we'll continue. By the way, our next reflection, which will be on Thursday, is going to be entitled Feeling Good. I'm not going to read it. I just read the title so that you could tune in. Feeling good. Isn't that something we all want? Especially during these crazy times we're living in. Totally crazy times. All right. Doesn't look like there are any comments or questions, so I'm going to move on. If you have not been on my website, please visit my website. It's www.mymomentlc, stands for lifecoaching.com, mymomentlc.com. I will be here every Monday and Thursday at 12 o'clock. Share this with your friends. You never know who it could help. And I'm all about personal development and helping people to grow and to become better people. Because we need to be better people. And the world needs us to be better and strong. So God bless you all, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye.